Hello, everyone. Very bright lights. I cannot see a lot of people in the room. So my name is Stefan Chiriacescu, and I'm going to be talking to you today about email automation and how you can practically leverage AI today without the hype, how we use it as an agency, and how you can start to use it even today when you go back to your business, to your teams, to your agencies, wherever you are using and doing digital advertising or email marketing in. So I'll keep it very short. I've been in e-commerce for my entire professional life. Back in college in 2010, I started an e-commerce business. I learned e-commerce the hard way. Magento, whoever knows it knows what a pain it is. And I sold that business in 2014 when I moved into consulting and managed services. In 2019, I started e-commerce today, the agency, which is an e-commerce agency, and our main focus in the beginning was email marketing, and then we moved into full scope. In the meantime, I've bought and sold different e-commerce businesses in Europe and in the US and built them up. And I moved into app development for Shopify and SaaS development as well to keep me on my toes. Because if you're not on your toes today, you are so yesterday. So we have to stay on our toes. Why email automation? Even today, when we moved into full service for 5 years now, email automation continues to be the one thing that I have absolutely no problem being confident in telling a client that if you implement the flows I'm about to show you today, you are absolutely guaranteed to have better results. As long as your site has traffic, you are going to get better results from this. SEO, it depends on what's happening, what your competitors are doing. If they're working with JSON there and you're not working with JSON, then you're bound to have lesser results on SEO. PPC, if you have competitors that are willing to earn market share and sell at a loss, you have no chance to beat them. So email automation is the one thing you can confidently invest your time and energy in. And just to show you our evolution, so in 2021, we generated 7.3 million US dollars in revenue for our clients. 2022, 9.8 million. 2023, 18.4 million. And last year, 29.6 million US dollars in revenue generated by email. And what is interesting about the last 4 years is that more or less on average, 70% of the revenue our clients generated through email marketing came from automation flows. From emails that go out automatically based on triggered actions. Why is email automation today even more important than it was last year or 5 years ago? It's important because today, advertising costs are at an all-time high. After COVID started, of course, everybody knows advertising costs went up enormously. Depending on the market, 4 to 5 times more expensive to do Google Ads today or Meta Ads than it was in 2020, and 6-7 times more expensive than 2 years before COVID. So if you just do a quick search, you're going to see in Google Ads 3 to 1, 10 to 1 ROI. That's going to be the range, the average. Meta Ads, you're going to stay within that margin as well. But email marketing, if you do a Google search, you're going to see 36 to 1, 42 to 1, 40 to 1, much higher ROIs in general. However, we're not here to talk about general. Today, I'm going to talk to you about specifics. I'm going to talk to you about exactly what flows we built, how we build them, and how we use AI in order to get results that look like this. Let me see the pointer. Okay, there it is. So on this column here, you can see the ROI calculations that we ran on our own numbers, on our own clients. By implementing the flows that I'm about to show you right now, and calculating what the clients paid the agency, they could have very well just paid someone in-house, and what they paid for the ESPs themselves. When you look at these numbers, 1 to 62, 1 to 68, 1 to 81, 1 to 94, I think you're starting to understand why I believe that email automation is the most important thing you can actually do with your business, whether you're in e-commerce or in services, in B2C or B2B. The concepts I'm about to show you, they apply to any online business. You just have to adjust it and adapt it. And the small parenthesis here, yesterday I held a workshop about what I'm about to show you today for 8 hours with a smaller group of people. And 8 hours weren't enough for me to go through everything. Today, in 40 minutes, I'm going to try to summarize everything as much as possible. And I'm going to leave some cards here somewhere. So if you still have questions after the show, I can send you the presentation and everything else. Moving forward. Okay. First of all, AI in email marketing. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but there is no service or solution today that allows us as an agency with hundreds of over 100 clients to active to just not use them and not do our jobs anymore. We use AI to augment what we do for our clients. And the results actually show this in terms of revenue growth. There is a spike in the last 2 years, quite significant in the revenue we've been generating for our clients through email. So AI is something you use in order to do a better job with email marketing. But you cannot use AI if you don't have email automation set up correctly. And you cannot do email automation if you don't have the basics correctly set up. Just very quickly, I'm going to go through this because this is a problem. Almost all of the clients, the new potential leads or clients that we talk to on a weekly basis, and that's 2 to 3, are failing on at least one of these basic elements of setup. So they're basically leaving money on the table. They're unable to use any AI tool. Even if an AI tool would exist today, they would set it up and they would not have this set up, they would still not have good results. So first of all, basics. Email marketing comprised out of transactional emails, automated emails, and newsletters, and very tightly connected to SMS, push notification, chatbots, and WhatsApp automations. Transactional emails, everybody is ignoring them, and a small percentage of companies are actually ruining them. Those are your new account, forgot password, new order confirmation, shipment confirmation emails. These are transactional emails. You should not make them pretty. You should not add marketing elements to them. You should let them do their job, which is to inform the customer. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen. They're going to start to call you because they're failing to understand the very important information these transaction emails are delivering. And on top of that, these are going to be your most opened emails, and they have the potential to be your most clicked emails. When someone opens or clicks one of your emails, it sends a trigger to Gmail, to the inbox provider, okay? Gmail, Hotmail, Verizon, Apple Mail, and so on, that you are a safe sender. People are opening and interacting with your emails. If you want to make something and perk up your transactional emails, make the My Account or See My Order button or Forgot Password button much bigger so that they can click on them. Get more clicks, get a better reputation, get better deliverability of all your other emails. Automated emails we're going to talk about today, and newsletters just slightly because lots of people know newsletters. We're going to talk about just campaign optimization. 3 important steps. Number 1 is how do you choose your ESP? There's a lot of different things, AI elements, reporting, segmentation, pricing is very important to a lot of companies when choosing an email marketing service provider, whether you go custom or you go SaaS-based solution. But the one most important thing when choosing an ESP is the integration with your CMS. What CMS is your website on, and how does the ESP integrate with it? Because if it doesn't integrate with your ESP, you're not going to be able to build automation flows. You are only going to be able to have a place where you go in, create campaigns, and send newsletters. Maybe you're going to get new subscribers, but you're not going to be able to look at what users are doing on your website, what customers are doing on your website. So viewed tracking on the pages, viewed products, add to cart, searches on your website, placed orders and what orders. All of these are actions that you can then use the following flows to build triggers on top of, and you should build these fundamental flows we're going to talk about today. So everything else, reputation management, deliverability, AI-powered segmentation, automation, sending times optimization, A/B split testing, even, unfortunately, those are going to come second place. The most important one is the integration with your CMS and the reliability. You don't want to end in a case where the synchronization is just not working, all your flows are restarting, you lose a lot of data and momentum. So look at the ESPs. I left some names in there. Those are our favorite ESPs to work with: Omnisend, Klaviyo, Brevo, which just recently acquired PushOwl. But there are many others that we've been working with over the years. I think we have agency accounts with 10 of them, at least. Okay, another basic, domain authentication. I've seen brands that are international brands that we sometimes are requested to audit. Investment funds request us to audit different brands from their portfolios. And international brands that did not have their domains authenticated. What happens? You create an account with an ESP and you just start sending emails with them. In the beginning, if you are not authenticating your domain, you are using their public sending pool of IPs, which means you're sharing the reputation of everybody else who's a client of that company within that specific range. It may very well be okay short term, but almost guaranteed when sending volumes increase, even if you are doing a good job, you're not spamming, a lot of other people will be. And your reputation will suffer, and your most important emails of the year, Black Friday email, for example, are going to land in spam folders, spam boxes, through no fault of your own. Authenticate your domain. By authenticating your domain, you are able to start to build up your reputation. You're not going to be impacted by what other businesses, clients, companies are doing. And it's something we do in the very first moment when we start working with a new client. It's the most important element for us in order for us to build a reputation and ensure that the client will have medium to long-term results, not just short-term. There's tools you can very easily use, like MX Toolbox and postmaster.google.com. MX Toolbox is going to allow you to check your DMARC, which is mandatory today. It takes 2 minutes to set up. But if you don't have it set up, your sending is terribly affected. SPF, DKIM, all of these, you can just enter your domain name in MX Toolbox and see what error messages you're getting. And you're also going to be getting instructions on how to fix them. And you don't have to be tech savvy. You just have to follow them, log into the accounts, add what they tell you, and you're done. Postmaster.google.com is where you can see how your Gmail subscribers are interacting with your emails, with your newsletters, and any email you send out. Actually, you can track spam. You can track if your email is healthy, if you have everything set up technically for yourself. HTTPS. Just save these, because if you're okay with Gmail, most of likely 40% of your subscriber base is going to be Gmail. That's what we've seen typically. So if you're okay with Gmail, you're going to be okay with everybody else. And very important, if your domain is not authenticated today, if you do authenticate it, don't authenticate it and send out a blast email to all your subscribers immediately. Warm up your sending domain. It takes 2 weeks. All you have to do is export your subscribers base, create 14 segments for 14 days. On day 1, you send out to 5 Gmail addresses, 5 Hotmail, 5 Yahoo, 5 Apple Mail, and 5 random. And then day 2, 10, day 3, 25, 100, 150, 500, and just steadily grow until on day 14, you've emailed that warm-up message to all of your subscribers. From that moment on, you are safe to send out emails. If you authenticate your domain and you don't warm up, Gmail is going to be like, who's this new sender sending me 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 emails all of a sudden. For safety, I'm going to park them. And they're going to see the spam box until I can see what's happening. So be very careful of this. Okay, what impacts sender reputation? All of the clients that come over to us, when they do come over to us, the first thing we do is we analyze their list health. And almost all the time, we remove at least 25 to 30%. The worst was a client came to us and we had to remove like 250,000 subscribers, which was a terrible argument with the client when we told them we have to get rid of these. Luckily, we won the argument, and a couple of months later, he was getting more revenue out of just 25% of his subscriber base. His Klaviyo invoice dropped, or it was Omnisend, doesn't matter. His invoice dropped, he was getting better results, and then we were able to slowly re-engage with those customers. The problem is, if you're sending emails out to a list that's not healthy, that's not active, you are actually hurting your own reputation. You're much better off with subscribers hitting the unsubscribe button in your email than them not opening your emails. That hurts you. The second one doesn't hurt you. It actually helps you quite a lot. So keep the unsubscribe button visible. You don't have to make it extra large. Just don't do white font on white background or, these types of tricks. Okay, spam complaints. Monitor them. Of course, if you have spam complaints, you have to look at the content of the emails you're sending out. Engagement rates, we just spoke about that, and deliverability. In order to have good deliverability, follow the more text, fewer images rule. When I say text, I don't mean text in images. I mean text that you can actually select content. And just quickly, all images don't need to be more than 600 pixels in width. And emails should stay under 100 kilobytes in code size. This is an email converted into HTML. Otherwise, it gets clipped in Gmail. And you see that message. Click here to see the full message. This means you're losing all reporting, tracking data for that specific email. Plus, it's a bad customer experience. But emails can be larger than 100 kilobytes. You can have images that are 250, even 400 kilobytes in size, up to 1 megabyte. You're safe to go. Best practices for list hygiene: remove inactive subscribers every 3 to 6 months. Just do a simple experiment. Very simple. It depends, of course, if businesses are cyclical, seasonal, and so on, but create a segment in your ESP. Last 6 months, received 10 emails, at least 10 emails, opened 0 emails in the last 6 months. If you get any sort of hits in that segment, those are people you need to remove from your day-to-day sending. And you don't need to burn them, you don't need to unsubscribe them, you don't need to suppress them. You can just remove them and only re-engage them once or twice a year when you're doing your biggest promotion of the year, be it Black Friday or whatever other promotions. Most companies have like 2 huge sales per year. Okay, that's the basics. That's the foundation. You need to have it set up in order for you to be able to build automation, and then in order for you to be able to work on that automation using AI today. So a couple of questions for you to just address for yourselves after this call. What's our current efforts within email marketing? What are we doing? Newsletters, automation. Has anyone ever looked at our transactional emails? Do we even have a logo on them? So just address these questions. Look into what are you currently doing with email marketing? What email marketing service provider are you using? Does it integrate with the website? Are you able to see the activity of visitors and the activity of customers on your ESP so that you can actually create triggers based on that activity? What is the status of your list of subscribers? How many do you have? How many are active? When's the last time we did a cleanup, if ever? How do we integrate email marketing into our marketing planner? Again, big problem that we've seen with huge companies that we had absolutely no expectation. When SEO creates a new blog post for a guide, is that guide mentioned to the email marketing team? Are they able to take that information and just add that excellent piece of information to their campaigns and use it when they send out newsletters? Or are you just sending out newsletters that have this coupon promotion only this weekend and that's it? Because if you're doing that, it's really affecting your efforts. The best practice of anything you send out, it should contain something useful for anyone who opens it. If you send out a coupon that's going to be effective this weekend, only maybe 0.5% or 1% of the people who actually place an order and use it are going to find that email relevant, useful. The remaining 99% are going to be like, you just wasted my time. But if you do enter some information in there that SEO created, a nice guide, trends of this year, something that's interesting for anyone who opens up that email and says, hey, I didn't know that this chair is trending right now, or this is the color of the year, or something informational, then you're going to leave everyone who opens up that email with a good feeling. So integrate email marketing into your marketing planners. And last but not least, what are our subscriber entry points? Pop-up, website footer, social media. Where do we have these forms, and are they actually working? Are they being effective? Next. Moving into the automation side of things, it's a bit clipped here. So again, I'm just going to leave some business cards there. If you don't get this presentation and the attachments after the conference, then just ping me and I will give this to you directly. Or you can do a Google search, e-commerce today, blueprint. And it's one of the articles we've posted 3 years ago, which explains exactly how the blueprint works, and you have it in there as well on our blog. So build a blueprint. A blueprint is very important because it shows every single flow that you build and what those flows are doing. This is just a template, so it doesn't have any client information. But when we build something like this out for a client, we also add the coupon codes in there. This way, when a client calls and says, hey, my coupon isn't working, the customer support person just picks up the blueprint, looks, what coupon is that? Welcome 20. Okay, so it's in this flow. And this limitation is you haven't placed another order on our site. Have you placed another order on our site? Yes. Well, that's why it doesn't work. So it's just a matter of being efficient, of having clarity, of being able to plan ahead, not just in the marketing department, but in customer support as well, in management and everything else. Today, we are going to go over what we consider to be the fundamental flows that 100%, definitely 100% of the companies we've ever spoken with in the last 5 years did not have implemented. And these are flows you can implement easily within 2 to 3 weeks just by following the examples I'm going to be sharing with you, as long as you're using the right tech stack. If you're custom CMS with custom website, you'll need to involve developers, and that can complicate things. But yeah, so we're going to go over the fundamental flows because these generate the most revenue for our clients, and it's something I believe any company should have implemented on their website. The welcome flow, or the new subscriber flow, is the one that has the pop-ups, captures email addresses, and sends out emails in order to convert new subscribers into new customers. And then we have 4 types of abandonment flows: site abandonment, browse abandonment, cart abandonment, and checkout abandonment. Most companies that ever came to us, they said, we have abandonment flows in place. Guess what? They had cart abandonment, which was actually not even cart abandonment because there's a misspelling in most CMSs. It's checkout abandonment. And checkout abandonment is generating 24% of the revenue we've generated. So we have this data is based on $65 million worth of email revenue driven by email marketing for our clients. It's not data I'm picked up on Statista. It's not data from Google or ChatGPT. This is actual data from our own backyard. So if you're only doing checkout abandonment, you're winning 24% of the abandonment revenue, and you're losing 25, 28% of the abandonment revenue. So you could be doubling it. And also very important, and part of the fundamental flows, is the new customer flow, which I'm going to go through. Each and every one of them is very, very important today because of customer acquisition costs, which have just skyrocketed. Win back, VIP, cross-selling, returning customer, those are flows we typically don't set up for our clients in the very beginning because they're not fundamental, but they're definitely flows you want to build out once you have these fundamental flows in place, so you can get the actual 7 and 5% revenue from your automation flows. So, without further ado, let's talk about the new subscriber flow. Best practices. You need to have pop-ups. You need to have one pop-up on desktop, one pop-up on mobile. You absolutely must have an incentive. If you don't have an incentive, the results are going to be down 95%. They're going to be very, very low. So have a pop-up on mobile, have a pop-up on desktop so you can A/B split test them separately and make sure that you can increase your acquisition rates for new subscribers. And then build out 3 emails, which basically are your way of converting new subscribers into new customers. Emails need to be ideally text heavy, but this is one of those emails in which we do add like a large image or a banner within these flows in the beginning, but everything else is pure text that can be selectable so that we have good deliverability on these. So product images and maybe one banner, but everything else needs to be product images. Site abandonment. We haven't met a client, at least clients that came to us, that had site abandonment enabled, and I'll explain what it is. Site abandonment happens when a visitor abandons your site before looking at a product. So this is typically traffic that's coming from brand protection campaigns, advertising campaigns that have your brand name, send traffic to the homepage, or send traffic to various landing pages, which can be category pages, i.e. collection pages in Shopify, blog posts, and again, the homepage. This traffic lands on your site. If you have captured already the email address, or you just capture it at that moment in time, and the user abandons, it's called site abandonment. And what do? You want to bring that user back on your site, and you want to show him your best-selling products and or your best-selling categories. This is something you actually have to A/B split test, because for larger catalogs, typically showing best-selling categories is the one that works. For smaller catalogs, best-selling products and hottest products is what actually works. But email number 1, show products and social proofing. So of course, build up confidence. Email number 2, show categories and social proofing, and then you just A/B split test them after you've built up your benchmarks after 4 to 6 weeks. An example of additional newsletters. Okay, browse abandonment. I'm going to try to keep it short so I can actually answer some questions. Okay, so browse abandonment. This happens when someone looks at a product and abandons your site. They didn't add the cart, they didn't start checkout. So what do you want to do here? The target is to bring them back onto your site. And you want to show them the product they abandoned so that you refresh their memory, and you want to show them best-selling products, and of course, build up your confidence, testimonials, store testimonials. If you have product reviews and you have an integration, you're using Omnisend, Klaviyo, and so on, services that do work really well, then show them product reviews as well, if present. If not, store testimonials. But bring the customer back to the product page and have them add that product to the shopping cart. Cart abandonment is when users add products to the cart but don't actually initiate checkout. So there's 2 reasons why people do that, at least in our knowledge. Of course, reason number 1 is 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is not a good time. So my lunch break finished, I have to take my kid to school, something like that. But on top of the normal one, there's 2 additional reasons. They're using the shopping cart as a wish list, adding stuff in there, saving it for later. Something good for you to check. If you're not saving carts for at least 30 days, that's a big problem. There's nothing more frustrating than spending half an hour building up my cart, having to do something, jumping on a Google Meet or something and going back, and that's gone. You've lost me as a client forever, and everybody else, I think, is the same as me in this regard. So either using the shopping cart as a wish list, or searching for your products on Amazon or your local marketplace and trying to find it at a better place because they don't know your brand that well. So email number 1, sent 2 to 3 hours after the cart was abandoned. Email number 2, very important. Everybody does it plus 1 day, which is very wrong, because one of the reasons why the cart was abandoned can be not a good time of the day. I finished my lunch break, I had to take my kid to school, and so on and so forth. So never send the second email plus 1 day. Send the second email plus 22 or 23 hours after the abandonment event happened, not after the first email. And you're going to get the user right before that. This is something we've been testing for many years. and it works perfectly. It's 22 hours if it's a high-ticket item, so a more expensive product, 23 hours if it's a t-shirt, 19.99 and whatnot, so a less expensive product. And this is going to do the trick. Email number 3, just add a delay. And now email number 2 and email number 3, again, we want to show on top of the products that are abandoned, we want to show popular products, popular categories, product reviews and testimonials, and just A/B split test them so that we can see what are the results. Checkout abandonment, the final abandonment flow. This is a flow where you don't want to lose the client. Today, the customer acquisition cost is at an all-time high. So you've already spent money to get that client on your website. What you want to do is you want to incentivize at least once per customer lifetime for that customer to actually check out. And how you put pressure, how you put urgency depends from one company to another. But you have to find a way to incentivize it with email too. So email 1 again, 2 to 3 hours, same as cart. Email number 2, 22 to 23 hours after the checkout abandonment event started. So you combat the time of day. And email number 3, start putting time pressure. It can be time pressure, it can be stock pressure, it can be peer pressure. You have to find what works for your own business and business model. And last but not least, the fundamental flow of new customer. Most companies don't have this. Most companies have just a thank you for your order, your first order email, and that's it. We try to accomplish 3 things with the new customer flow for many years, and it's one of our most successful flows for our clients. Number 1, of course, thank you for your order. Here's where we are on social media. If you're a small brand, sure, tell people about yourself, about your family business, about your anything you can do to create a connection and show them if you do have a community, where that community is based and how they can join it. Email number 2 is meant to give value. If 1 in 5 clients are asking your customer support about specific things, warranty-related questions, shipping-related questions, how to use fabric and care, these are important questions for every one of your customers. Second email should be helpful, helping people out, answering questions they already have. This is going to leave them with a very good feeling, saying that when I open emails from this company, I learn something new. And this falls really great into what's going to happen next, because the main target of the new customer email is to generate a second purchase. Whatever incentive you're going to use, whatever the marketing cost will be for that incentive, 20 to 30 days after the first purchase, send out an incentive and get that customer to place their second order. Why is that important? It's important because most of the traffic and most of the orders you're going to be getting are going to be from ads. Most of the traffic that comes from ads lands on your product page. And if you run the numbers, just look in Google Analytics, look in Triple Whale, anywhere you have your data, you're going to see that only 3% of that traffic ever looks at your homepage. And most of the traffic you get, and you pay a lot of money for today, is only looking at that product and maybe 2 more other products. They don't know your catalog if it's a smaller ticket item. So give them a reason to come back to the website, an incentive that's good enough for them to educate themselves about your catalog, about your categories, about your brand. This is priceless. So try to generate a second purchase within email numbers 3, and 4 is the last chance, the reminder for the incentive. There's a lot more flows on top of these. There's returning customer, where you're trying to get a friends and family incentive out to a customer that placed their second order with you. There's VIP flows, but all of those you can add at a later stage in time. The biggest problem, the biggest reason why companies don't have these fundamental flows implemented, and we implement them very easily for our clients is, and you can implement them very easily as well using the correct tools, is they try to get things perfect. They try to personalize these flows for their own business, when that is not what you should be doing. You should implement something that's already working. It's working for us for 5-6 years now. It's showing great results. And let it run without touching it, without interfering for 4 to 6 weeks. Don't touch them. Just let them run. They will build a benchmark. Once that benchmark is built, that's when you can actually start doing A/B split testing and test subject lines, test content, test incentives, Start creating splits based on affinities, based on genders, based on product types, and so on and so forth, based on B2C and B2B customers. But don't do that from the beginning. That's the wrong approach. So once you've had these flows built, that's when the fun part starts. And historically, we've been doing all this data manually. But for the last couple of years, we've been using AI more and more as an assistant for it to help us generate data and better results for our clients. So AI for data analysis. One of the most time-consuming tasks in email marketing is data analysis. The old way, we used to look at open rates, click-through rates, revenue, and of course, maybe unsubscribe rates, spam rates. It really depended on the budget of the client, and it's the very same for you, each and every one of you. You only have so many hours in a day. You have to be wary of that information. So you cannot look at all the data, but right now you actually can, because the AI-powered way allows you to analyze full campaign flow performance over the past 30 days, 60 days, 9 days, 2 years' time. You can load up a lot more data from your email marketing service provider, from your store, from your website, from Google Analytics. Just remember to anonymize it. So you don't want to share personal information. It doesn't matter if you're using Claude or ChatGPT or DeepSeek. It doesn't matter. Don't share your customers' personal information with AI. Anonymize it and load it up. Load up what data you're comfortable with sharing, and of course your legal department allows you. And start using all your data. And how do you use all your data? First of all, for personalization. Number one, a small percentage of companies out there even build out avatars, personas, and actually personalize their email marketing based on their customers' avatars. But AI can help you analyze your order data, site visit data, email marketing data, so that you can actually start to build out these avatars for yourself. And examples of affinities that you can build out. You can build brand-related affinities, product type affinities, genders, fashion style, pet type, price and urgency sensitivity, affinities, and then split out all of your flows based on that. And I'll give you just one simple example. Brand-related affinities. Footwear store, 80% of the business comes from Nike shoe sales, and we have the browse abandonment campaign. If 80% of the sales come from Nike, then it does mean I have an affinity of customers that are Nike lovers. So I'm going to put a split within that flow, which is going to be like brand affinity equals Nike. If yes, the email is not going to look traditionally like all the other browse abandonment emails look. No, it's going to say, hey there, Nike lover. Did you know Nike was founded in and did this and that? Here's the best sellers from Nike. Here's the new collection from Nike, on top of course, the product that the customer was looking at, which was going to be the highlight of that browse abandonment campaign. Pet store, dog owner, cat owner. We are doing this over and over again, personalizing the emails the subscribers are getting based on their pet ownership. And these are just simple examples that you can actually use and understand not only what are your customer personas, but also what data can you use in order to be able to put people into segments. And AI can come back to you and say, in order for you to see who are your dog owners, you can create a segment based on viewed these pages, viewed these collections, viewed these categories, or purchased these products from these collections. And then you build a segment out, but of course you double check all that data for yourself. AI for A/B split testing. And I didn't add the... Okay, so A/B split testing. Imagine that you've been doing A/B split testing, testing subject lines, sending times, and content for 4 years for your business and your company. How can you be sure you are not going to run the same test again when maybe the actual person working those emails has changed in the meantime? Or maybe you, because we all forget, we're all human, we all can make mistakes. As an agency, I can tell you how it works. We have massive spreadsheets for every single client, and those spreadsheets are kilometers long, and they have all the tests we've ever run. And in the beginning, it's super simple and straightforward, but 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, It takes so much time for the actual account manager to go through those tests, see what else we can try, what else we can test out. So what do we do now? We load up these elements, these spreadsheets into, for example, ChatGPT, Claude, etc. And we load up the data that is current for us in terms of what products are hot, what's new in inventory, and so on. And then we ask it to give us recommendations for tests. 75% of the times, it's something interesting that we can pick up and build up on. But we save hours every single day because we are able to have the confidence we're not rerunning a test that was incorrect. AI for campaign planning, I'm going to walk past this very quickly. Load up data. Load up your sales data, load up your email marketing data, ideally in the last 2 years, so that you can compare this month to the previous year and to 2 years ago. Compare last year's month to the previous month and the same for 2 years ago, so you can actually have a full comparison, which normally would take one person to do that a lot of time. But with a tool like ChatGPT, you can do that very, very quickly and have it spit out what are the winners, what should we try out, why did those campaigns last year lose, not generate enough revenue, and how can we do it better this year. It's going to give you a great starting point. It's going to be able to allow you to digest a lot more data. And last but not least, this is the one place where we actually use AI for more than just data processing. This is going to be for design and content. Use ChatGPT, Claude, and so on and so forth. If you have your own assistants for branding, I think every company should. What's my brand tone? What's my brand voice? What are my branding guidelines? What restrictions do I have? Am I selling supplements in the US? You have all the restrictions in the world as to what you can say and what you cannot say. So load up all that data in an assistant and then use that assistant to, first of all, verify the content you want to add to emails, the text content, and or ask it for ideas in creating new content. And of course, use tools like Midjourney, Canva AI, and so on and so forth to put products in the hands of actual people and to maybe even create graphics. Every single graphic designer we've ever worked with and I've spoken with uses these tools nowadays, and they're very happy about them. So Midjourney, Canva AI, sure there's more, but these are tools that we are using. So the outcome is faster email creation and better performing content. I'm going to end now, and I'm going to try to see if I still have time for some questions. AI is powerful, but it's not there yet. It's something you can use on your day-to-day operations, but if you don't have the foundations in place, there's nothing. There's no AI tool in the world that's going to help you. If you don't have automation in place, there's no AI tool that's going to help you. We've used tools that generate all the email for you based on actions and personalize the experience and so on, but that is not effective. It doesn't work that well. So set up your basics, set up your fundamentals, put together email automation, and then use AI like we are. You've seen the results. It works for us. It can work for you very, very well. So roll up your sleeves and take action. I'm going to leave this up, and I'm going to see if I can. Do I still have time for?
Yep, we've got time for one more question. A really big round of applause.
Thank you.
I've heard a lot of talks, Stefan, and that is actually one of the most useful, helpful, simple, easy to implement talks I've ever heard. I'm now very unhappy I don't have an e-commerce store. This is your gift.
Thank you so much.
And in exchange for that gift, you're going to answer one question. What are some do-nots when setting up reactivation email campaign drip for dormant leads in B2B? What are the do-nots when you're reawakening old leads?
When you're reawakening old leads, do-nots. Well, first of all, you have to make sure that your reputation is okay. So before you look at re-engaging a list that has gone dormant, that's not the first step. The first step is making sure that your domain is authenticated and your basics are set up and you have a warm-up campaign run and you're free to send out emails. Then that's when you want to start re-engaging an older list, and you have to put together the best possible email you can, which, very important, should not be clickbait. You need to have a good subject line so that people open it, and you need to have you must have a button in the email that people need to click for consulting. If it's B2B, it's going to most likely require human interaction. So reach out, get 1 hour free of consulting with your personal operator today. Click this button, sign up with the RSVP form. So have them do an action. Remember, every open is important because it tells Gmail and everybody else you're a safe sender, but every click is many times more important because it really helps you build up your reputation and for your emails, regardless of how many images they have, to land in inboxes. That's
Right.
it.
A quick follow-up question
Yep.
then. How dangerous is it then to follow up the initial email with 2 more emails? Are you going to ruin your reputation, or is it worth pitching 3 times to a reawakener?
It's worth trying. So there's no special formula. Our rule of thumb is we want to send out 1 campaign per month, per week, sorry, 3 to 4 campaigns, maybe even 5 per week for our e-commerce clients. But we have clients where we send 8, we have clients where we send 2. It's up to you to analyze the data that's being sent out, and it's very, very simple. Just look at the unsubscribe rates, look at the most important one, look at the spam abuse report rates. If that is increasing when you do what's called a resend is you sending an email that you've sent out again, a second time to people that did not open the first one, that's called a resend. If your spam report rates are going up when you do resends, don't do them anymore. Yeah. But test it.